We now welcome UFC featherweight Billy Quarantillo. Billy, thank you for the time, sir.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
We will take the first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey, Billy. Happy belated birthday.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So, obviously, you're right close to the fight. Were you able to celebrate, or are you just saving it up so you could go big after?
No, I wasn't able to celebrate yet. My birthday was, yesterday? It was, Wednesday? Oh, yeah. So, my birthday was on Tuesday. So I was actually quarantined by myself in my hotel room. So waiting for the COVID results. So I'm going to wait to celebrate, Saturday night or Sunday when I get back home with my fiance.
This fight was one of those scrapped early on in the pandemic. You guys have both fought other people since then. So what was it like to kind of come all the way back around to the matchup?
For those who don't know, we were supposed to fight in April, and that was right when, COVID and the pandemic started. So we already did a couple weeks training camp, probably a month training camp getting ready for Gavin. And we loved the matchup back then. And now I think I got a lot more experience. I got a lot more cage time, especially at the Apex. I was able to go out there and get 2 big wins in between. I think it just adds a lot more stakes to the, what could happen in this fight, the value of the fight. It's on a big pay-per-view now too. So I was excited then, and I'm even more excited now.
In terms of the strategy and working with your coaches, is it just like, hey, we're going to pick up where we left off around April, or do you feel like you guys even found even more new stuff having seen more of his fights this year?
Yeah, without giving too much away, we definitely see a lot of areas where I feel like I could beat him in. And, just knowing that I was already going to fight him and, to get booked with him again, I think it took a lot of the nerves away. When I first get someone's name and you're starting to game plan for them, you start getting those nerves and you got to start looking them up. But I feel like we already knew what Gavin brings to the table. He's a vet. He does a lot of things well. There's definitely a little bit of there's some holes in his games that I plan on exploiting. And so, we kind of just left off where we started, but we have a lot more going into this one this time around.
This would obviously cap off a solid year for you in terms of inside the cage. What would you be, if you get the win, what would you like in 2021 next for you?
Yeah, I definitely think this was a huge year for me. If I'm able to go 4-0 in 12 months, my UFC debut was December 7th last year. So to go 4-0 in my first year, it would just be, a dream come true, really, to start my career off this way. And I'm definitely looking at that top 15. I think either after a win over Gavin Tucker, it would be a top 15 or definitely a big name and a big card. So I don't want to overlook anyone, but that's definitely what I'm looking forward to past this.
Hey, thank you, Billy. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
We will take the next set of questions from Jim Barcelone with the Miami Herald.
Thank you. I'm just curious, how did this training go for you? Who helped you train for this fight? And were you in Tampa training? Where did you train?
Yeah, I was in Tampa. I trained at Gracie Tampa South, where I've done all my training camps. This is my 32nd fight out of there in Tampa. So it was the same old crew, man. It was my head coach Matt Arroyo, my striking coach Dan Rawlings, one of my main teammates Matt Frivola, who's got a huge fight coming up January 23rd, which I'm going to go and head out there for that. And just the same old crew. My brother Jim, who's always with me during fight week. And it seems like it's just this year just been a long continuous training camp. I'm excited to get this fight over with and take a few weeks off because it's been a super busy year. But yeah, it's the same old crew, and Tampa and Florida is my home. So Miami Herald, what's up, man?
There you go. All right. So it's been such an interesting 2020. Does that prepare you for whatever 2021 is ahead for you? Because not just fighting, but just training and preparing. It's just been such a crazy 2020 with COVID.
Yeah, I think so. And I've said it since the Spike Carlisle fight that I can't wait to fight in front of fans again. I miss the fans. My UFC debut in DC, it was just incredible fighting in front of, I think it was 10 or 12,000 fans. So yeah, if I have to keep fighting the Apex, that's fine. This will be my 4th fight there in about a year and a half since my Contender Series. So I'm very comfortable now here. but I would still love to obviously have everyone back, which of course everyone wants to, and as safely as possible. I can't wait for the fans, but yeah, I can't imagine 21 being more difficult than this, being locked in the hotel, having to do COVID tests all the time.
You mentioned you're going to take some time off, and what is that going to be like? Because you've been go for a while.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of looking at this as this has been like my regular season, trying to go 4-0. And then once I'm able to get to that 4-0, I plan on taking a few weeks off. I'm going to corner my teammate Matt Frivola in Abu Dhabi for fight week out there. So I plan on going out there and just kind of helping him get ready. And then after that, I'm looking at like it was like a regular season to like a playoff run where I'm going to start fighting guys in the top 15, big names, big pay-per-view events. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to after that. And right after this fight, getting anything looked at. I got some minor little stuff, nothing crazy, but I got some things I gotta, get fixed until I take my next fight.
Well, all the best and thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
We will take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Low Kick MMA.
Hey, Billy, how's it going, man?
Good, Ryan. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for giving us some time here. I was curious, what when you look back on, it's been about 5 years since you were on The Ultimate Fighter. When you look back, what are some of the biggest lessons you learned while you were there?
It's I think I've just grown so much as a person and as a fighter. At the time, I was really bitter and upset that I didn't get into the UFC right away. But at this point now, I don't really think I was necessarily ready. I was only pro for about 5 years. And so I think just growing as a person, I worked a ton of my wrestling. I worked a ton of my strength and conditioning. I knew right from then that my natural weight class would be 145 as opposed to 155. Everyone out here is cutting a decent amount of weight. So I think the weight class, that decision to go to 45 and to stay at featherweight and just growing overall, really improving on my wrestling, really helping out with my fighter IQ, being in that situation with so many champions, Uriah Faber, Cody Garbrandt, Lance Palmer, the list goes on. Just being around them and having that, mindset of what it takes to get to that highest level. I think I've grown quite a bit since then. And I think, when I got signed last year, I think it was just perfect timing. And that's why you're able to see me successful now in the UFC is because I'm actually ready now.
For sure, man. And then kind of going off that, you're in a stacked featherweight division, and you're on an 8-fight win streak. You're 4-0 in the UFC. So, is there any certain names that you'd like to see after this fight?
There are some that I don't necessarily want to give away right now. I don't want to start calling people out before I get this win. But definitely, if they have a ranked number next to them, that's who I'm kind of looking at, because I feel like if I do get this win against Gavin Tucker, who's 3-1 in the UFC, he's a stud and I got a tough task in front of me. If I'm able to get past him, I think that would put me right in the 20th ranking or even closer. So I definitely think, I got into the sport to be a world champion. I just turned 32 the other day. So my all of our clock is ticking. So I definitely am looking for some big fights there. And there's a lot of matchups that I really like in that top 15. And there's some other big names that I'd really like to fight that I plan on revealing maybe after this fight.
Awesome, man. And then one last thing was, I know you're a big Barstool Sports guy from early days as well. So what's it like for you to get interviews with them? They're a media juggernaut now. So is that crazy for you to be a part of that?
It really is. Shout out to Robbie Fox, my guy. Shout out to El Prez and Big Cat and all those guys. I've been that was definitely kind of a surreal moment because I've been following Barstool since about 2010 when they were just a really small company. I would look at their website and kind of interact with those guys on there, and to now have a couple interviews and me and Robbie DM each other all the time, just to be close with those guys. It is kind of surreal, and that was definitely one of the biggest media people that I've talked to. And I've done some other really big interviews since then. So this last year has kind of been like a whirlwind, and I don't want it to stop. So I just want to keep going out there and having exciting fights, getting big finishes, and keep this ball rolling.
For sure, man. Well, thanks for giving us your time, and best of luck on Saturday. I really look forward to it.
All right, Ryan, take care, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Billy, that looks like all the questions we had for you, sir. We really appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you, guys.